It's gone. Oh, let's go take a look. Let's go wipe the melon off of his phone. Well, yeah, look how wet it is here. Okay, that's pretty crazy. It'd be interesting to see it in slow-mo. Welcome to the Barefoot Defender again. I'm Stephen Williford. Today I have a special guest to talk about things that you might want to know about ammunition and rifles. I have Del Hallmark. He's one of our great sponsors at True Ballistics in Kennedy, Texas, and I'm honored to have him here today to give you guys a little insight about ammunition and how it matches with barrel lengths and barrel twist and powders and things. Welcome, Del.
It's an honor to be here. Appreciate you.
So, a lot of our listeners and watchers, they go and buy a production gun and now they want to go take it out and hunt or maybe shoot and make themselves happy with accuracy and stuff. And I tell people, for the most part, my guns are precision paper punching equipment. I do a whole lot more shooting at paper targets than I do animals and things, but I just enjoy it. What makes a good rifle ammunition combination?
From the rifle standpoint, it does depend a lot on what you want to do with it. If you're looking at a target rifle, I'm looking for a heavy barrel with repeatability. That barrel won't move as it gets warm. With 10-15 shots into it, it's not getting warm and walking one way or another. Whereas a hunting rifle, if I'm backpacking in the mountains, I'm going to want a pretty lightweight barrel, obviously. So, but with that being said, the barrel twist has a lot to do with what you're going to want to load out for ammo. Just take for example this gun here. I'm familiar with this one and what's been through it and everything. It's a 6.5 Creedmoor from Hill Country Rifles. I normally shoot 140 grain open tip match through it. Now I do know on this particular gun it's an 8.5 twist, and that, for if you don't know, that's 8.5 one revolution of rifling in that barrel for every 8.5 inches. Okay, so it's putting a spin on this bullet. Believe it or not, if you haven't ever done the math, the bullet spin can get up to over 250,000 RPMs. It's really fast. I know this gun with 140 grain bullets, somewhere just past 800 yards, will lose its stability. It's very accurate out to about 800. When I get to 1,000, I've noticed sometimes going through the target sideways. So that bullet's actually losing stability out there. Well,
Creedmoor's known for going well out past that.
Yes, and it with an 8 twist, it would go well past that. This is 8.5, and the recommended twist for that bullet is 8. So even that half inch is critical when you get out. Everything gets critical when you get out that far. Really
I have a 6.5 Creedmoor that I just recently, and I don't normally get to do this, but I actually certified it at 1,000 yards. I put about a 3-shot group that was about 1.5 inches apart.
Yeah.
All 3 rounds.
Yeah, that's outstanding.
With my Creed one, that rifle's better than I am. I'm just lucky to go along for the ride.
So another thing that's going on in the barrel wall that we need to take into consideration for load development. There's 2 different waves and you can't see them with the naked eye, but when the ignition happens, when primer goes off, powder ignites, that barrel actually swells up. It's microscopic. There's software that can detect it, but that wave, it's a pressure wave, and it will go down that barrel back and forth almost like you rung a bell.
Barrel harmonics.
Barrel harmonics.
Yes.
And that wave that's going back and forth, and it will go back and forth quite a few times before the bullet ever exits the barrel. There's another thing going on in the barrel. It's a whip wave. So when you shoot, you can see this in slow motion on a camera, but that barrel will actually have a little whip to it. Both of those waves need to be at the action end of the barrel when that bullet exits right here. That's why you find some ammo, a gun just doesn't like it. You can't get it to group. It's because you need a different velocity on that ammo. Either that or you need a tuner, or you know the easiest thing to do is adjust your velocity. Buy a different round, or if you're hand loading, go a little bit lighter, a little bit heavier with the powder, get a different velocity, and you'll find that group just really come in tight.
I get people all the time that come to me and say, "Hey, Stephen, I just bought a hunting rifle, and I just can't seem to get a group out of it." I said, "What kinds of ammo have you tried through it?" "Well, I've tried, brand X, bullet weight, whatever." I said, "And you didn't try anything else?" That being said, Dell has told me that they're in Kennedy, Texas, take your rifle and find out what your rifle likes best. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, one of the other things we do with that, and of course we're going to adjust powders, bullet weights, find out what that gun likes. There's also a tool you can get them on the internet, but for measuring your free bore in your barrel. So when you load a round in your barrel, it's not supposed to be in contact with the rifling yet. There's going to be a part, that bullet needs a jump from where it's sitting before it goes off. It actually has a little bit of a jump before it hits the rifling, starts to spin. If we have the rifle in our store, we can actually measure that, and right around 30-40 thousandths of a jump is where we've found just a really good sweet spot, and on almost any gun. And we try, when we load, we try to keep with that measurement within a thousandth or so.
Is that head spacing? Is that what you call head spacing? Or?
No, head spacing has more to do with it's a measurement on the actual round of
the cartridge.
What stops it from going in. On some bullets it's from the flange, some bullets it's from the shoulder. That's a little more of a complicated term, but we're measuring as just a free bore is what it's called. Some people call it jump. Okay. But and then from there you get into the powders, and if you are hand loading, there's charts. If you look it up on the internet, a burn rate chart for powders, and without getting into a whole bunch of powder brands and types, you can there's lists on the internet that list them from fastest burning powder down to the slowest.
So basically, if you're shooting a rifle like this one with a 24-inch stainless steel heavy barrel, 1 1/8 twist, you would want a heavier bullet, because the tighter the twist, the heavier the bullet it stabilizes. Yeah. For instance, since it has a 24-inch barrel, your burn rate can be slower to get maximum effectiveness out of the powder with the bullet weight and stuff. And the reason you want the longer, heavier bullets is for more accuracy out to a distance, so that the wind doesn't push it as much. Then you have actually it's a pistol. Actually, no, this is a short barrel rifle. I'm sorry. Yeah. This is a short barrel rifle. It needs a tech stamp for it. So it has a short barrel. So if you use the slower burning powder through this, you'd get a big flame out the end of it, because it wouldn't be getting maximum efficiency out of the powder. And if it's got a 1 9 twist, then it wouldn't stabilize the heavier bullet that other rifle would stabilize. So these two rifles are made for two different purposes. This is more of a tactical rifle, short range, quick in action. I'd hate to have to hustle a boat anchor like that in a tactical situation. So that's kind of the differences. And then, you know, the difference also between a semi-automatic that uses the gases to work the action and a bolt action. And so there's different loads that you would want for semi-automatic as opposed to a bolt action rifle too. And then all the way to the dreaded AK-47, you know. And this is a fairly short-barreled AK-47. From what I'm told, this is the Cadillac of AK-47s, and not really even an AK-47, because it actually shoots .223 also, as opposed to the 7.62x39. This one shoots a .223, and it is a very well-made heavy AK.
Let's go back for a second to what you're talking about with the heavier bullets. Obviously, you're going to need a tighter twist. What you're gaining with that heavier bullet, obviously, you're gaining energy. If you're using it for hunting or self-defense, the heavier the bullet, the more energy you're going to have, assuming your velocity is still up there. But most people are using a heavier bullet. You get a better ballistic coefficient, which is it's a mathematical formula that's just describing the aerodynamics of that bullet. It'll be less affected by wind. It'll have less drop over distance. It's just a better performing bullet.
And that's why they're really liking the 6.5 Creedmoor nowadays, is because it is really coming to its own, and it's actually the ballistic coefficient is better than a 308 at distances.
Definitely.
308, I guess, you know, a couple of 100 yards will outperform it for a hunting round at a couple of 100 yards, but once you start stringing it out farther, the 308 loses so much of its energy because of the bullet weight and the shape of the bullet, I guess.
Yeah.
And mainly the shape of the bullet, because they say the longer bullet of a 6.5 Creedmoor retains that better.
Right.
So it's easier for someone like me that doesn't normally do long range shooting and things to be able to hit a target efficiently with a 6.5 Creedmoor. A .223 ballistically is wasted at probably around 500 yards. Correct?
Yes, there's some heavier. We load some 77 grain 223s that we have people that practice 1,000 yards with. But yeah, it's for practice. You know, it's not something you'd want to compete with. It's a lot cheaper to practice with 223 a 77 grain than it is with 6.5 Creedmoor.
I see you have some bullets.
Brought some just to take a look at. You know, we're talking about ballistic coefficient and what goes into it and everything. And if you look at, and I have just a sample of 5 bullets here, and they're all in the 140 area, 140 to 142, except for the middle one here. That blue tip is a 127. But as you look at them, you can see the difference in aerodynamics of them. A lead tip versus a ballistic tip versus an open tip match. A lot of them having a boat tail. Some of them, one of them here is just a flat back. So you see the different designs and what goes into them, and a lot of it's terminal ballistics, where they're terminal ballistics just being the study of what happens on impact, you know, the expansion rate and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of just what I wanted to show you. But those are, you know, even though they're all different shapes and sizes, they're all in the same grain weight except for this one here.
So I want to thank Del for coming out here today, driving from Kennedy, Texas, which is what almost a 45-minute drive.
45 minutes or so.
So 45-minute drive. I also want to thank Del for supplying us with the ammunition to do these great videos and the information that comes along with it. Without it, with the ammunition shortage, that would be hard for me to do these videos. So I want to thank Del for doing that, and I appreciate them at True Ballistics for sponsoring us, and hopefully we're going to go out there and have some fun now.
Oh my God, right? So we just want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. For every like, it's awesome. It helps us in our analytics. For every subscribe, that actually really helps us as well. You know, we've got bills to pay too. So we are just thankful that you took the time to watch this video. We'll put all the information to True Ballistics down in the description below. If you have any questions, feel free to leave that in the comments and we'll respond as quick as we can. And until next time, guys, don't forget to love one another.